Hi everyone, my name is Vince Gauman. Thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel. A while back, I was graced by a most beautiful, divine feminine presence. She descended upon me, and it felt like a warm blanket surrounding me, filling my cells, filling my heart, filling the entirety of my being. And one sentence came to me, one sentence came from her to me. And that sentence is, "Give me your weight," she said. "Give me your weight." And what a beautiful thing to say, which really meant surrender into my arms. Surrender your need to control. Surrender into that place where you feel a deep place of belonging and where you know you are loved eternally. So give me your weight. Surrender into that place where you know all is well and all is taken care of, so you don't have to control as much. I'm in control, she says. So if any of you have had the privilege or the blessing of holding a child and experiencing a young child, and experiencing that moment when the child goes from here to here, you may know what I'm talking about. I'm giving you an example of weight giving. And I cannot think of any better one than that, actually. Because children, in that moment when they go limp and loose, they're basically saying, I feel safe to give you my weight. I feel safe to fully let go and let love in, to be held. And the child knows in that safe, nourishing bond that they truly belong in that caregiver's arms, and that all is well and all is taken care of, and they don't have to control anything because it's all being taken care of for them. And what a sweet spot, what a sweet place to be. And imagine what's possible if we have more of that as children, if we have more of that experience with many of our primary caregivers, with our grandparents, so it doesn't have to be just our parents. So it's a beautiful place where the child feels so much safety and trust that they can just relax, limp and loose, and give their full weight to the holding, to the adult who is holding. And isn't that what we want when we melt into our partner's arms as adults? We use the word melt. Well, melt means I'm giving all of myself to you. I let go fully into your arms, into being held. I can relax to that extent. I feel that safe. And I trust you to that degree that I can fully release into your arms. How beautiful is that? It's so nourishing to the heart. It is so nourishing to the nervous system. It is so nourishing to the soul. When we feel unsafe as children, because we live in a toxic home, an abusive home, a home full of neglect, full of unpredictabilities that make us feel unsafe, what happens is that the body increasingly becomes rigid. It has what's called a survival physiology. We think more in terms of black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. What's the best way to do things? So I avoid punishment. So I garner the most amount of approval I can possibly get. We're calculating in our mind. We're leaving our body. We're not as relaxed because we don't feel safe. We don't feel like we can trust our environment. We don't feel like we can trust ourselves, because our natural self is not welcomed. It's not safe to be exuberant. It's not safe to be imaginative. It's not safe to be wild and carefree. We now need to be a certain way, which again rigidifies us, tightens us, and makes the sympathetic nervous system often It overly engages the sympathetic nervous system, which is one of the branches of the autonomic nervous system, and it engages it to such a degree that we become vigilant or hypervigilant, and then that wires us to tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Trauma is known as the eternally present past. The eternally present past. So, though we are no longer in that unsafe home as adults, we are still living that past in the present moment. Our nervous system is wired to feel unsafe. And so that makes it hard to relax into relationships, to relax into life. It's hard to trust others. It's hard to trust life. One of the hallmarks of a trauma physiology is that people simply don't trust others. And if they don't trust others, they're going to have a hard time trusting life, which is very sad. So it's essential that for us to give our weight to another person and then give our weight to life, we have to heal. We have to heal. We have to heal the nervous system. We have to heal the trauma in our physiology that makes us rigid. And that healing slowly softens and softens and softens us so that we're more relaxed, we're more calm, we're more receptive, we're more open. I used to do table work in my healing practice. I used to have a full somatic therapy practice, and I did all sorts of different types of work on clients. I now have a practice healing people with starlights remotely, and that's a whole different topic. So I closed that practice, but when I had that practice, I used to do table work, and so people would come and they'd lay on their back on the table, and when they arrived, though they've arrived, they've sort of not arrived at the same time, because they would be on the table, but they'd be kind of not fully giving the table their weight. They'd be kind of off of it. Their lower back would be slightly arched, because they're coming in with all these stresses from work, from home, from their own trauma, and so they're wound, right? So one of the things I used to do is called a kidney hold, where I would put my hand underneath their kidney, and bear in mind the adrenal is right above the kidney, and the adrenal is, it's what's affected when we're in that hypervigilant state. That's why people have adrenal fatigue. And the kidney is also associated with fear, just like the liver is associated with anger. So there's fear, there's a lot of adrenaline running, the body's having a hard time relaxing and regulating. So I'd put my hand under the kidney and basically soothe that kidney and invite it to slowly drop. It's called a kidney drop. So as my hand was there, I'd increasingly feel, quite literally, the kidney soften. I'd feel more blood circulation. And then eventually, working with both sides of the body, both kidneys, the lower back and the entirety of the system would give more weight to the table. And you may know this from having either given or received energy work, whether it's craniosacral work or osteopathy or Reiki, that by the end of the session, you or your client are just more a heavy load on healthy load on the table. So you're giving more weight, you're more relaxed. So a triangle model that I've created, that I've yet to formally announce in any way, is safety, trust, relaxation. Safety, trust, relaxation. When I feel safe, I can trust you more. I can trust life more. I can trust myself more. I can trust my body more. I can trust being in my body. When I feel trusting, when I feel safe, I feel more relaxed. When I'm relaxed, it's a sign I'm trusting. It's a sign that I feel safe. So safety, trust, relaxation are all related. It's a simple model, but I like it. So when, and I should also say quickly that one of the reasons why people have a hard time sleeping is because of the eternally present past of their trauma still acting out while they're in bed. Meaning their nervous system, their sympathetic nervous system is too engaged, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and digest and sleep, is having a hard time being engaged because the sympathetic nervous system is keeping the person in vigilance, in hypervigilance. How do you sleep if your nervous system is too on, if it can't turn off? How do you sleep if you need to be in control? If you're still on some level not feeling safe in your environment, you're going to have a hard time sleeping. So insomnia is related a lot of the time to an inability for the parasympathetic nervous system, again related to rest and digest, to fully engage. And so we can't give our weight. We can't give our weight to the bed. We can't relax into the bed. So healing is so necessary for us to really soften to such an extent that we relax into the river of life, that we relax into and say, I trust life. I trust life to carry me, much like a child says on some level. I trust you, mommy or daddy, to carry me. So what a beautiful thing that is, to heal and to soften so that life can carry you. Life wants to carry you. You're actually meant to be carried. You're not meant to carry it all on your own, but that's what we do when we're traumatized and we're scared and we separate ourselves from others and we separate ourselves from life. We carry it on our own, and we carry it and carry it and carry it until the carrying becomes such a burden and we have so much mental, emotional, physical pain in our system. We have to start healing, and then that healing teaches us that we don't have to do it alone. We can soften, and we can allow others to carry us and to hold us and to help us understand that all is well and all is taken care of, despite what you experienced as a scared child. So giving your weight to life is no small thing. Is no small thing. That is my prayer for you. That is my heartfelt prayer, is that you that you experience that, experience that blessing. It is your birthright. It is your birthright to feel held. It is your birthright to know that you are loved and you are taken care of, and that you don't have to control everything. So that is my wish for you, is that you give your weight, to others, and you give your weight to life, and in that you finally find peace in your heart. Thank you for listening and watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, click notifications, and I'll see you maybe again on another video, or you'll see me again. Thank you.